So do you guys want to know what the funniest thing is? I just made a whole video about Arizona, just looking at the new polls. I was uploading it 98% not on processing, so it wasn't like it was about to upload. But I go on here, it refreshes the page every so often, Real Clear Politics, and I'm like, whoa, new polls. And then I realize my video is invalidated by these new polls. So we're just going to go through them because I don't feel like analyzing each one of these races. I could have kept it down. I'm uploading currently the Florida video like right now. So that's going to go up before this video because this one has to be uploaded as well. But I had an Arizona video that was done before. Can't upload it now. Cool. Thanks, Fox News. But Fox News came out with polls in Arizona that pretty much conflict with the data, the new data from the Arizona Senate race. So I'm not so sure. Yes, it is updated here, but Martha McSally officially taking the lead here. See, the thing is, Sinema leads by 3% in the Fox News poll. However, in the poll that they were categorizing before was from Gravis that showed Sinema ahead by 4%. So when they had that in there, actually I believe it might have been Emerson's, it was just one that was enough to balance it out and give Sinema a lead by 1 point, I believe 5% statewide. Now Martha McSally officially leads in the United States Senate race from the state of Arizona. So that new Fox News poll on the average didn't help Sinema, but it also conflicts with the new data here. So it doesn't mean that this race is leaning in the favor of the GOP just yet. But it does show a little bit more of implications for a couple of these races, not just the Arizona Senate race. Again, I was going to talk about the Arizona Senate race, but now we can talk about a lot more than that. In terms of the approval rating of the president, disapprove plus 16, plus 8, plus 8, not much to see there. Same usual. Congressional job approval, not much to see there. Direction of the country, not much to see there. The generic congressional vote, however, some conflicting numbers. Economist shows Democrats ahead by 3, then NPR plus 12, and then we go back down to Rasmussen plus 4, and then plus 14 from Quinnipiac. So a lot of conflicting numbers there, but that's not what I made this video about. We see an array of red and blue right here. Missouri Senate race. Claire McCaskill leads by 3%. That is something that is going to be very substantial when we look at this new polls, when we look at the new polls, and when we look at the Senate race again in our updated prediction in a couple of days. When I do make this prediction, which I do at the middle of every month, and then once we start reaching October, it'll be every week because again the map doesn't change just once a month. We will be looking at that. Again, I just covered the Florida poll, so we're not going to talk much about there. Texas 23rd District, not much to see there. It was expected to go to the GOP regardless. Not really regardless, but still interesting to see the Republican ahead by 8%. For the 19th District, the Democrat leads by 3%, so that's also interesting in a race I believe went to the GOP in 2016, if I'm not mistaken. But again, House races, not that much of a national implication as Senate races. So we have new polls from Arizona again, Indiana, Missouri, and North Dakota. So something that reinforces help for the GOP, 100%. In North Dakota, Kevin Cramer leads by 4%. If we look at this race before, I did say Kevin Cramer led, but also if you look at those polling data from that race itself, it's very outdated, and that's saying a lot. The most recent poll that shows Heitkamp leading was taken in February. So my screen recorder cut out, but I was pretty much just talking about the North Dakota Senate race and why these numbers are good for the GOP. Having a Democratic incumbent this far down, this late into the season, does not look good for the Democrats whatsoever. Over in Missouri, Claire McCaskill leads by 3%. Not good news for the GOP, but the numbers are down. Whereas in North Dakota, 48 to 44, less undecided voters than 44 to 41. In Indiana Senate, Mike Braun leads by 2%. So that new poll from Joe Donnelly that shows him ahead, sure, the average will still show him ahead. Actually, we can check right now, but Mike Braun is leading the most recent poll, and yes, it was done by Fox News, so you could say that it could have a conservative bias. I'm not going to call that because I do trust polls all the same, depending on where they're from, unless it's from like an online pollster. But overall, Indiana right now shows Donnelly ahead by 3.8%, but Fox News shows the most recent poll shows Braun ahead by 2%. As for the Arizona Senate race, like I mentioned before, I did make an Arizona video, but I wasn't able to do it. So these new numbers really conflict with what we see here. But in the Arizona Senate race, Martha McSally leads by 3% in the ABC 15 poll, but then Sinema leads by 3% in the Fox News poll. Here's where the numbers matter. Sinema leads 47 to 44. Sure, a 3% lead. But McSally also has a 3% lead, but it's different. It's 49% to 46%. So that difference in terms of undecided voters shows impact. I do think that the ABC 15 poll could be a little bit more accurate for this race here. And also, if you look at the average, the Republican leads overall by 0.3% the last time we just checked like minutes ago. But overall, not much to see in the President Trump approval rating. Congressional vote numbers vary, but still probably averaging around 7 to 8% lead nationwide. Nothing to see in congressional job approval or direction of the country. These House races, some interesting numbers, but not enough to make a huge impact on the United States. Whereas the Florida governor race, Florida Senate race, interesting to see a Republican lead in the Senate race, but a Democrat in the governor race. As for the Arizona Senate race, two conflicting numbers overall showing McSally leading in terms of the average. Not good for the Democrats. There was never a time where the GOP led in these polls. Keep in mind, before, I guess, September, the Republicans didn't lead in a single poll. Cinema always led leading up to September, when they pretty much skipped the entire month of August for whatever reason. And then a couple of tragic events happened. I'm pretty sure you all know about John McCain's death. A lot of things happened. The primaries concluded, whatever, made an impact on this race. As for the Indiana Senate race, Mike Braun finally leading in another poll that wasn't taken months ago that shows him leading by 1%. So new data to add to our analysis of the Indiana Senate race. As for the state of Missouri, Claire McCaskill leading by 3% isn't too surprising, but the amount of undecided voters is, especially this late in the game. And as for the North Dakota Senate race, this number only solidifies what we've been thinking about this race for a while. So that pretty much wraps up this video. Thank you guys for watching this video. Comment down suggestions below, and I'll see you all tomorrow.